Good evening, we are back again, another live stream. I just added in bit 2, you have a bit 2, you hear bit 2, and you see in the upper left corner you can see my keyboard, my complete controller. It has a little ribbon controller. I did not connect it to the ribbon controller below, but that one also can be used. But that has a built-in, and it has a center position. The ribbon controller left side is only one direction, and the ribbon controller inside bit 2 is bipolar, which means that it goes in negative and positive. So you see, it has the here's the button, bipolar. If I would have it this way, then I could connect it. So let me see if I can connect it. Latch to MIDI, and there it goes. So now I have it MIDI latched. Then of course I don't need this one here, so I 00. So in the mod matrix I have expression, which is in the complete control. You see it in the very upper left corner. If you don't see it, guys, let me know, but you should be seeing it. My movement of my thumb, and I did set then the bit, switch off the bipolar, and now you see it moves. Of course I can make it bipolar, which was as it was. So I can use the ribbon controller, and of course if you have a ribbon controller on your keyboard, it's interesting, but you don't need to use the ribbon controller here. So let me unlatch, let me see, clear MIDI, clear all MIDI. So if you have the right mouse button, or with the Mac computer control mouse, you can open the menu, and you see here where you have the slider control information. You see latch to MIDI, unlatch MIDI, set controller. So manually you also could set it to controller 11, clear all MIDI. Then all the MIDI connections, MIDI latching is gone. So that you have to keep in mind, that the synthesizers which have this ribbon controller all have them with bipolar, because then you have two directions. You can go, so if I play here, I can go brighter, but I also can go darker, because it's connected to the cutoff frequency. So you need essentially a bipolar ribbon controller for controlling, for instance, in bit 2 with this preset. If you don't have a bipolar ribbon controller, you can switch this off, and then it uses one direction, and I just did connect it to the ribbon controller. But you don't need to do this. You also can say, okay, let me use expression, which is in the MIDI source number 11, expression controller 11, and you connect that one to the filter cutoff frequency, and it adds more expression. So when I play this lead sound, I have the pitch band, I have the modulation wheel for adding modulation. Of course, I also can use the aftertouch. And you have then the ribbon for opening the filter. And of course, you are free to do some cool stuff with it. So that makes that you have far more expression. I'm now in the synth leads. Is my voice, by the way, loud enough for you guys? I hope so. I still can make it a little bit louder, because I hear myself back also from my own voice, of course, but on my headphones. So I could also say to use this ribbon controller on another different type of sound. So let me take a sync sound. And here I also could say ribbon controller, modulation matrix controller 11. Go to, for instance, the oscillator 2, which is in synchronizes, sync mode. That can change the semitone tuning. Let's do this one. Let's see what happens. So it's very nice for the expression. For the ones which are a bit later, I'm working with bit 2. And you see in the upper left corner, I have the complete control keyboard version 3. And I use this ribbon controller, which is sent out as MIDI controller 11, which is also expression in the list. Expression MIDI controller 11. And I put that on the oscillator 2 semi-tune. Oscillator 2 here is in sync mode, sync to 1, which when I put it off, you hear pitch glide. Well, if the oscillator is synced to oscillator 1, it doesn't mean tempo sync, but it synchronizes the start point of the waveform. And if you change then the pitch very extensively, you hear this typical sync sound. So this is without sync. And as you notice, there's a pitch envelope which is inside this advanced page. So that's cool from bit 2. You have this advanced page where you already have a envelope and an LFO. Each oscillator has its own LFO and own envelope. So if you click on tune, you see there's a little ring on the side of it. That means that the tune is already used. And there you see the amount. So if I put now in sync, the oscillator 2 synchronizes its waveform with oscillator 1, and instead of changing the pitch, it changes the harmonic content. It's, for instance, one of the sounds Jean-Michel Jarre used as a laser sound with the Alka, which was also a sync sound. So now, if I use also the expression to control very roughly the semi of this oscillator 2, I even increase the pitch. Cool, isn't it? So if I put off sync again, now it sounds like a cheap computer game. So that's sync. Some people they're confused in what it does. So maybe it's a good thing because a bit 2 is really focusing on virtual analog. And as you can see behind me, you see a Mini Moog, a Prophet 600, a Jupiter 8, some classic analog machines. But for software, I thought, with software we have freedom. So this is my take on virtual analog. So that's why for instance, in oscillator 2 and oscillator 1, it has its own envelope, its own LFO, which was not possible at that time. That was way too expensive to add even more components to the classic analog synthesizer. So in a Jupiter 8 you have one LFO and that's it. But here in bit 2 you have oscillator 2 has its LFO, oscillator 1, you have a pitch envelope, you have two filters with different filter types. So it's all about, the inspiration by the virtual analog, but I took my own take on it because, we live in 2025. Why not add cool features? Because that gives freedom in terms of sounds, isn't it? So I just was playing one of the lead sounds at the start. Which one? It's a Minimox type of sound. Here I again can select the MIDI source, this expression. Also you could use a foot pedal, by the way. So expression controller 11, and this one goes to the filter 1. Excuse me. Then I go, no, not to the filter, it goes to the filter 1, not oscillator 1. And there, open it, and then I have this, look at the upper corner, this ribbon controller. LK syntax, that's for the... So bit 2, many presets. And I think over time, nice analog type of basses. 1 second. That was a hachu. Well, James Bunny mentioned, Rob, could you link an old Dubfler MIDI ribbon controller to the ribbon controller in bit? Yeah, essentially that should be possible, because the ribbon controller here, you see on the left side, is controller 11. If you go down here, you see that with the bit 2, you have a option to have a ribbon controller which has a center position, which is bipolar, or you select unipolar, which means that you only have one direction, which is the same as I have here with the complete control ribbon controller. So if I go here and use the right mouse button, then a menu opens and I can latch to MIDI, and then I move it around, and you see now when I move in the upper corner the ribbon controller, it also moves down in bit 2. So if this ribbon controller from Dubfler does send out on, for instance, controller 11, I expect it would do it. Maybe a different one, but keep in mind here you can MIDI latch to anything. Essentially, it could also be a different one. So these are little cool things you can do with bit 2 and a controller keyboard. So I had once the Andromeda, which also has the ribbon controller, which was very nice, but that's not in the studio anymore. So this is the unipolar, as they call it, and you see it has the spring back feature, and bipolar is what I use mostly in the preset, because then you can go also both directions. Okay, let's see the chat room. Thanks for joining, guys. I hope everybody is well. Next Thursday, I'm going to present our new AVX plugin. So keep it on your mind that we will be live next week, Thursday, 8 o'clock. Amsterdam time, that will be 7 o'clock UK time, and in America would be pretty in the late night, I guess. Do you have also looked at the undo stand alone? Hey, we see Ian Waugh also in the chat room. Yeah, the Udo stand alone ribbon. Never heard of it. We should look it up. So let's see that later on. Could be an option. We know the Dupfler, but maybe the Udo alone ribbon would also be an option. Okay, so that's about the ribbon controller in bit 2. Some all kind of basses. Noise, by the way, is sometimes very cool to combine it together. Excuse me. So, bit back in time, but as you see, we did our own way of approaching and making a virtual analog machine. If you go to the pad sounds, I have many Jupiter 8 type of sounds. And what I did was my original Jupiter 8. It's down here behind me, so that's Jupiter 8. You had two, you could layer 2 patches, so then it would be 4 voice. And what I did was then having 2 patches from pads, but each had a bit different LFO modulation and a bit different cutoff frequency setting. So therefore, at a very, so this is more higher speed LFO. So these are different. And you see what I did with bit 2, instead of using 2 presets, I used 2 oscillators, but we have filter 1 and filter 2. And once you have them in a split oscillator mode, oscillator 1 goes into filter 1, oscillator 2 goes into filter 2, and then you see there's a panning. So you have left, right, a different panning. Left, right. And this one only has delay because that doesn't have any chorus, because the original Jupiter 8 doesn't have chorus, but you also could add chorus. So that's the, so there are multiple variations. Type of pad. And only has 1 oscillator, but has symmetry modulation. So you see here only 1 oscillator used, and the Uno 60 for the ones, or the Uno 106, has a square waveform, and you can do the symmetry modulation. And that's done. Here is the square, and if you go back, you see the modulation. And you see each oscillator has its own LFO, own envelope, and you see here it has a little white ring around it, so the symmetry modulation or pulse width modulation is used, and by the LFO. And of course the Uno 6 and Uno 106 had a chorus, so that one was dispatch. So of course I do some recreation of some analog inspired on the synth inside of it. Mellow Carpet is... And what we also have is the Roland VP. So this one uses, and maybe some would say, hey, that's not an analog filter. Yeah, it's a Waugh filter, which originally came also on the Roland string machine, the VP. It's very dry. It sounds a bit even. Opening modulation wheel changes the, you see, vowel, and if you open the modulation wheel, it changes the vowel. Okay, let's see the chat room. Yeah, guys, by the way, Ian is in the chat room. I just saw Ian, he did mention a ribbon controller as well. And Ian made a very nice video. And if you look in the description box, you find the first link is this video to Ian Waugh. Yeah, his I already mentioned to Ian, I'm gonna butcher your family name, Waugh. So it's Ian Waugh, a bit like War of the Worlds, he mentioned. And Ian made a very nice video about the Explorer 10 and everything he liked in the Explorer 10. So I would check it out, check this video. It's a very nice video. And yeah, put inside his video also your thoughts about our Rob Papen plugins. So that will be cool. Okay, then I see DJ Pro 9075 has a question about the Albino 3 to have it a bank manager preset browser. Well, currently the problem is that the code is written by Linplug and Peter Linsener. So we still are learning about this code because it's not coded by the main coder. So all the instruments and effects you know from the Rob Papen brand are coded by John Iris and Sajak Kuzmizik. And Sajak is our Mac program, and John Iris is our main coder, and we are always battling over what should be inside the plugin. So most of the time I throw an idea, and then we throw our both ideas, and then we battle, and then we get a product. So for instance, like the Bit 2, which was in my mind to create a virtual analog machine, focus on the typical analog sounds only, so not hybrid, but then with some cool additional stuff, which makes it possible now. And so the Albino 3, that will be an Albino 4, but that takes time to create because, yeah, the size could be a little bit bigger because it's an older plugin, and even with 150% size, it's still pretty small. But it's quite a challenge, and for Peter the code is also a long time ago that he wrote the code, so it's not going to be an easy thing. One good thing, if you use the Anchor S system from Native Instruments, then of course you will have all the presets in the Anchor S format, and then you could mix it between all the other plugins which are available, which have this Anchor S support. Okay, yeah, so I started with the ribbon controller, guys. So here's, maybe I should make the keyboard a little bigger for you so you can see it. So here's the keyboard. Now the ribbon controller. Oh, it's MIDI latch still, yeah. It's MIDI latch, you see, it's MIDI latch to the ribbon controller. So if something is MIDI latch, you can go to the right mouse menu or control mouse on the Mac computer, because Mac computers not always have a right mouse control, and then you can clear all MIDI, then all the MIDI latching is gone. So so you have also, of course, other controls here as a possibility for bit. In this case, it controls the volume, so you could change the volumes. Okay, shall we take another instrument? Yeah, wire plug is of course. Yeah, I discovered by using wire plug, I discovered something. Maybe I should talk about that because it's a cool thing. I mean, I play synthesizers already for 46 years, so I'm an old chap. And each time you still discover new stuff. And we have in wire plug different algorithms. So each layer can be a different type of synthesis. So we have a wave, which is an one oscillator analog model synthesizer. We have a little FM synthesizer, a string model, which are own things, and wire. But I found out that if you throw the wave, the noise, in a comb filter, then you get this typical sound, which is typical for flute or a bamboo type of stuff. So that's recently discovered by me. So it's of course more the plug sounds, which is the focus from this machine. But I add, of course, also some other. Yeah, a bit like a guitar. But very nice plug sounds, and what is cool, we have the distortion, so you really can make also some very nice distortion sounds. Short one. And the cool thing, we have the chord memory, and the chord memory can be built up by 4 presets each time. So in this case, it uses one chord, which is only a semi-tuning. So if we go to the advanced band, then you see down here, you can have the semi-7. And without distortion, you see the distortion has an influence on the sound. Okay, it should be more. No. Yeah, this also. So it's a bit like a D50 type of sound, isn't it? Yeah, so this is the main page. The advanced page, some people find it a little bit overwhelming. Yeah, maybe we had the idea to split it, but all fits. And if you do sound design, if you see everything, that's very nice to have. So that's why we use this system. From experience, we know that most people stay on the main page. They go from one preset to another, do a little tweaking, and that's it. So of course, the more advanced editor or people who like to edit deeply a synthesizer, they don't complain because the advanced page you need to has a lot of information, so you don't need to switch from one point to another point, but it's max on what is fittable on one page. But that's the concept we picked. So it's the main page, which most people will use, where you can put on a layer, you can change the play mode, and so on. So, and the bank manager is of course very handy. I'm looking here for the others. Oh yeah, here the distortion, really. So here I can, in the main page, I can put it off. a little bit of this essentially FM sound. It's really a very different approach, and that's what we are very proud of, that we generated again a synthesizer with a different sound, with a different approach. And yeah, coming back to this almost physical modeling, which is partially physical modeling. It's the string model combined with a noise. Okay, I'm checking the chat room. So again, people, check also Ian his homepage. It's not homepage. I'm writing it wrong. Oh, I have the keyboard still big. Let me go make the keyboard a little bit smaller again. So check out his homepage, his YouTube channel. The description box, inside my description box is the link to his video. And yeah, share your thoughts in his video about the Rob Papen Explorer 10 bundle. And of course, next week we present a new affix for the Explorer 10. And this new affix also can be bought as a single plugin. If you think, okay, I'm doing mostly affix stuff, then yeah, next week you also should be checking out my live stream, because then I present this new affix. Will be done, if I'm not wrong, the 45th plugin inside the Explorer 10 bundle. Yeah. By the way, this one, so this is the very first preset of Riot. If I make this one a little bit shorter, this wire one, it sounds more like a guitar, like an ovation. So that's what you also can do. And in the main page, you can pick here the arpeggiator. Oh, nice. Delay. So that's what I did. Simply pick here the arpeggiator, made the sound a little bit shorter. So the main page is also a fun page. Okay. 1 second. Okay, I'm checking here. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, let me see the chat room. Because I need to do
when old
something.
photos.
Okay. Okay, that's skip. Okay. My bad. I'm back again. Okay, let me see what the chat room has to say. can you make a piano with the low notes on the left and the higher? With wire plug, I don't think so. That would be more a lucky strike if it resembles a little bit a piano. So a bit of E-piano should be possible, but let me see. See? Well, this is a weird piano. I have a sustain pedal here. Yeah, I don't think that's the strong point for clavinet sounds, sure. Especially if you use the talk box. Nice for. What is possible, by the way, if you have the advanced bass, you can control keyboard track control with the decay. So the decay, you can make that it becomes shorter to the higher you play. Let me see if I can do this as an example. Shorter, longer. But okay, I was talking about, so let's go back to bit 2 again, because I wanted to do something with this comp filter and the noise. So this is wire plug, and the sound I mean is this lead. This lead sound, to see if I can create such a lead sound with wire plug, with bit 2. So I learned that with wire plug, how to create this sound, but it should be also possible with a bit 2. That's my story for today. So I go now to bit 2, and I try to get that done. So I go to my Rob Live, my favorite. Default, where are you? Default, here it is, default. So I use then the filter split, serial split noise. Yeah, that could also be an idea. Where's this one coming from? Huh? Oh. Yeah, although I also can say white noise here. White noise, and that grows to the comp filter. Okay, not. Now you see the cutoff frequency. If you use the shift on your keyboard, I can make it go precise to 440. So I make the cutoff frequency to 440, so that I have a pitched filter. Okay, come on, baby, go to 440. You see in the upper readout, you can see that the value here is the readout. So the cutoff. So this is the readout, you see? There you see 440. Now this does the comp filter, isn't that weird? And now I need to check that one, combine that one with the, and I take down the, there it comes. Then I already have this tube, this. Okay, I maybe going for 88. Oh, let's see. 880 will be 1 octave higher, so I pitch the cutter frequency one octave higher, so 880. Yeah, that could be an option. And I also have of course this is a bit dry. And of course I miss a little bit the extra filter, or yeah, maybe a bit of vibrato. But already it's very dry, so better use a little bit of. Yeah, it's closer, it's not the same, but you see with the comb filter. That one is nicer, the comb negative. And let's see, I miss a little bit the attack. I can do that with the, maybe here. Bit too much reverb. Now, a little bit of this noise. One octave lower. Yeah, that's better. So you hear this tube, this blowing of the noise in the tube. That's done by using the comb filter. Of course, now by the volume of the oscillator. And what I also can do, use the LFO, the pitch LFO. Where is it? So you got some real-time sound design here. So pitch LFO, and I would put this pitch LFO also on the volume of the noise. Let's see if that does some nice stuff. Mod volume. And then I use the modulation, mod wheel and aftertouch, also to control the, oopsie doopsie, okay, control the modulation amount. Come on baby, where are you? Mod amount 3. No, mod amount 3. So now the modulation wheel is set to control the amount of number 3, which is pitch LFO, controlling the oscillator mod volume. So that's nice, not bad. So it uses reverb and the delay. And a bit of delay. Some people in the in the chat room know this melody, so hopefully I don't get a copy strike of one of my songs created with Peter, Ruth and myself on the Nova album. Okay, what is wise is that I saved this one, isn't it? Save preset as how we should call it. If we call it lead, and then is it a tube flute? Bum. What would be a good name for this one? SweetFlute. And of course I need to set the play mode. Play mode would be, because legato. And we also could do the portamento, that if you hold the keyboard nice. It's a good sound. So I succeeded in this challenge for what I did for myself today to create this preset way of creating a flute sound with wire plug using a comb filter. I did the same now in bit 2. And for the ones who maybe noticed as well, I did this also in Predator 3 and the last preset thing we did in Predator 3. Right, I fix. And then of course I need to tag it. Yeah, cool. So I will make this one downloadable for you guys. I will describe in the info section where you then can copy this preset. And yeah, that was a little bit the challenge for today. Okay, let me see the chat room if there's maybe another question popping up. And you see, I look up because there's my screen, my computer screen for the chat room. Yeah, if we would go to Predator. Let me see. That would not be Synth. So the last version of Predator, we also added new presets, most in the Synth 2 bank. Because we added the albino filters and some other things like the... But here I also has it. Yeah, Fluto Mars, that's the one. So here in Predator 3, I also use the comb filter to create a flute sound. It's a little different again because there I use oscillator 1 and oscillator 2 in a little FM setup. So if you click on the advanced, you see that oscillator 1 doesn't go to the filter, but if you go to the advanced page of oscillator 2, it uses phase modulation. Really makes this little attack. And then I use the third oscillator, which goes to the, and you see that here in the split 3 mode, oscillator 1 and 2 go into filter 1, and oscillator 3 goes into filter 2, which has again this comb filter. And and in the ambient bank we had some new presets. That one was my favorite of the last. Yeah, also here, of course, if you have the introduction bank, by the way, the ribbon controller also can be set here if you pick here a preset. The introduction bank has many presets, but you have this. And if I go to the mod matrix, I also here can pick expression controller 11 and use that on the filters. Filter 1 frequency. Yeah, so the ribbon controller, yeah, here it doesn't mention expression, brightness. Yeah, the numbers are not behind it, we need to add them. So that's a little bit better in the bit 2. There we added also also not only expression but also the MIDI control number. You see expression CC11. Okay. Well guys, that was it for today. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye next Thursday. We present during the live stream the new FX, which will be part of the Explore 10 bundle. Don't forget to watch the video from Ian Waugh. The link is in the description box. Give this video also a thumbs up, spread the word. Most important, enjoy creating music, and as mentioned, I will upload this bit 2 preset also in the info section. Thanks and keep well. See you next week again.